By reversing an Android application, we are going to learn the logic behind it and also a flaw, and we are about to leverage that flaw to get some fruitful information out of that application. It's going to be an exciting learning session. When I was learning this for the first time, it was fascinating, exciting, and that's why I wanted to bring the same kind of feel to my viewers. I'm here making this video. I'm an absolute beginner in this Android reversing. I've never done this before. So if you find any flaw, any conceptual error, then bear with that. Without further ado, let's begin. It's going to be one of the retired challenges of HackTheBox, and it is under the mobile application category because we are going to reverse the APK file, right? So, and the concept and the challenge name is manager. Let's see the challenge description. A client asked me to perform security assessment on this password management application. Can you help me? So by seeing this line, we are having a heads up what we are up against. So we are going to assess an Android application that manages the password. All right. We do have one instance and also a file to download. And I have already downloaded this file and keeping in the folder called manager. And this is what the file I have downloaded. And if you need to make sure the authenticity of the file, you can feel free to use the hashing functions to ensure the hashes given here. And if I click the download file, I would be seeing the file hash here. It is beginning with CB58A2A, and that's what I can see here. So this is an authentic file, and let me unzip this file and to see what is present in this archive. It is asking the password, and the password is given here. It is HackTheBox. Well, it had two files, manager.apk and readme.txt. First of all, let's see its file type. So one is the text file, and the remaining one is it says it is zip archive data, but indeed it is APK file. Let's see the content of the text file first. So it gives a heads up, an idea about the application. Install this application in an API level 29 or earlier. For example, Android 10.2. So that is the version they are recommending to run this APK file. And the second one, in order to connect to the server, when first running the application, insert the IP and port that you are provided in the description. Well, it is asking us to give the IP and port, but we don't know that. But let's start the instance. It will be giving us the IP address and the port, and here it is. So we are going to give this IP address and the port detail in the application, but I have no idea how its interface will be, but let's learn that in a moment. And all right, we got that APK file, right? Now we need to find some tool to analyze this APK file. Because if you open this APK file in simply in a text editor, it is simply in a machine language. So it is not readable by the human being. So we need to find some other exclusive tools to read this Android application APK file, and there are certain tools. For example, let's see the APK tool. So APK tool is the popular tool set to reverse the Android application, the APK files, and you can see how you can use it. APK tool, and you need to put the D letter in order to decode the file and the application name. So it will be decoding that application and it will be giving the pertaining files. Well, this is one tool we can use, and there is another tool called bytecode viewer. So it is another tool to decompile the Android application, and here is the website of that bytecode viewer, and you can see the interface here. How the application would look like. I think the image is gone now, but there is a GitHub page from where you will be able to download this bytecode viewer. So this is another tool to download this utility. Let me go to this home page and see whether it is showing any user interface here. And look at this. This is how the interface would look like. And it's a video. So here they are showing how to use this bytecode viewer. And yeah, this is how it look like. And okay, now we have seen APK tool and bytecode viewer, and there is another tool called JADX-GUI. It is another tool to decompile the APK and DEX file. So look at this description, DEX to Java decompiler. And if you read through this, a command line GUI utility for producing Java source code from Android, DEX and APK files. Well, we do have APK file now, so we can use this tool to convert it to the Java source code form. We are going to use any one of these three tools, and let me show the drawback of this APK tool. I have used this tool, but I haven't feel convenience from this, so let me show that to you. I'm simply calling APK tool. I have already installed it, so -d, just D to decompile it, and calling the application name, and now it is decompiling that manager.apk file, and it will be dropping all the pertaining files in a separate folder. So let's see, it will be creating a folder and it will be dropping the files. And look at this, there is a folder called manager. Let's open the folder and see its contents, and you can see the Android manifest file. Let's open this file. It contains an XML code. There are some metadata, the data about the file. So we can find those details in this manifest file. There is another file called apktool.yaml, and what it does, it simply contains some version details. Yeah, nothing apart from that, nothing interesting. And there is a folder called Smalley. I'm not positive what Smalley is exactly. Let's see. I'm simply googling to learn what is Smalley. Smalley is an assembler or disassembler for DEX format used by Dalvik, Android's Java VM implementation. The syntax is loosely based on Jasmine's JADX syntax and supports full functionality of the DEX format. So it looks like Smalley is an intermediate code language, a format. So let's see what we are having in this folder. And we have three folders: Android, Android X and COM. So let's get into this Android and see what we are having. There is another folder called support. I'm opening. So it is keep giving folders. I'm getting into app, and you can see certain files present here. So let me open any one of these files. So I'm getting this to see some interesting stuffs. Looks like this folder is containing the files related to the Android system. Nothing apart from that. Now let me get into this COM directory. I feel both Android and Android X are same, so I'm just getting into COM, and here you can see there is a folder called example. So I'm getting into this, and here is the folder name called manager. So looks like this is the folder that contains the files related to our application. And look at the functionalities of the applications, and from seeing the file name, you'll be getting an idea about the application, what the application does. Build config, login activity, and main activity, register activity. So let's see the register activity and its code. Look at this. I'm just scrolling all the way to the beginning of the file. So the file is very big. Look at this. It's simply giving some Java code, but I don't feel this one is user friendly. It was quite confusing to me when I was witnessing it for the first time. So look at this. There is a string, an error occurred, unable to register user, username already taken. So these are the strings used in the application. Apart from these strings, I don't feel any useful information from this format of Smalley files. So I have just decided to move away from this APK usage, because there are other tools like bytecode editor and JADX. So I'm going to use one among those utilities. So let me go with the JADX. I feel JADX is comparatively better. So let's get into that. In order to use JADX, I have already installed it. So I'm simply going to call that application, and it is kept in the tools directory. And JADX, there is a folder called binary, and here we got this JADX-GUI application. So let me open this. So it will be opening the graphical user interface of this one, and I have expanded its font size. So let me open the related file here. So I'm opening the APK, and actually it is loaded. Now I have loaded all the files that belongs to manager.apk. It decompiled all the files and it is giving its outcome. And look at the source code here. So like we have seen in the Smalley folder of the APK tool outcome, and we have seen some Android files. So the same folder present here as well. And if I click one of these files, it is simply giving me the details about the Android application and its version compatibility, those system files. So I'm just closing this one because I already found the contents of these two folders. It is not useful. So I'm getting into this com directory, and here there is a folder called example.manager, and this is where we can see all the relevant files, the application relevant files. And I'm just clicking the build config, and here you can see the domain name. Looks like it is used in the application, but I'm not positive. But let's see the next one, the edit activity. And here I'm simply scrolling down. I can see a string called username, et password, tv username, and here I can see something. I mean, it is getting the URL, I suppose. And look at this specific code block here. So looks like it is getting the username and password. And also there is another parameter called ID, and another one called role. And here is the message. The string we have already seen in that Smalley file, user not found. And scrolling further, I can see another path called manage.php. Looks like it is concatenating this manage.php with the URL. And I hope this one is actually a URL, the specific IP and port. If we try this in the browser, let's see what we are getting. So I'm simply putting it. It gives a blank page. It is not throwing any error. Instead, it is giving a blank page, which means it is present. The page is exist. So let me give this manage.php along with this URL and see what happens. Manage.php. It is giving the same sort of empty page. It is not throwing any error. But let me give a random directory which is not exist, perumal.php. Let me give this and see. We are getting an error because it is not found. The content is not found. The page is not found. And that's why we are getting this. Well, now we got to know it's a web page. So it is like a web application. So where we found certain pages like manage.php, and the manage.php is getting the post request, and you can see the user agent, username, password it is getting in the post. I mean, in this page it is getting the username and password, and we can see the further strings, password updated successfully. Looks like it is getting the password input and it is updating in that. So looks like the edit activity is something crucial and fascinating. Moving to the next one, login activity, and you can see the dependent packages here, and I'm scrolling further. Yeah, look at this one. The page is login.php now, and let me try this one, login.php. Same sort of thing. It gives the blank page, which means it is exist, and it is also getting the post request and the user agent, username and password we are giving. And if there is network issue, it throws this error, or it gives some other response like user not found. If you are trying to log in any username that is not found, then it is giving this error. Well, this is what this login activity shows. Let's see the main activity, and here I can see, I think it is getting the URL. It is forming the URL here and sending the request. I'm not positive. Looks like that is the page does. The register activity. Moving to the next, and look at this one. It is having the page register.php. Hopefully that will also be there, register.php, and yes, it is. And it is also getting the post request and username and password it is getting. It is asking us to check the internet connection. And look at this. If you are trying to register a new user, the name is already taken, then it is informing that user. And also it is giving an error when when it can't register the user. Once the user is created, it is giving this one. Well, now we have seen these files: login activity, main activity, register activity. Let's see this one as well. I don't think any useful stuff here. So by seeing these files, we got to know this application does some kind of login and sign up activity, and also it is actually has the facility to change the password where the user can change it. So looks like we got some insight about this application. Now it is time to do the dynamic analysis, and we are going to use an Android emulator to run this APK tool and see what this application exactly is. So without further ado, let's do this. You can use the Android emulator of your choice, but I'll give you a few choices. If you are using Windows or Mac machines, then you can use BlueStacks. BlueStacks is a promising tool to run the Android applications on the machine, but it is only applicable, only available in the, only available for Windows machine, Windows and Mac. Yeah, it is available only for those two operating systems. Since I am using the Linux system, I'm going to use the Genymotion. Genymotion is another Android emulator tool. So we can download this for personal use for free. And if you are using it for the commercial purpose, then obviously you need to pay the license. You need to pay for the license. And I'm going to download this product for the personal use. So it is available for Linux. So let me download it. So I'm going to keep it in the tools directory. I have downloaded this application, and let's run this straight away. So I guess it is having the privilege executable. Yes, it has. And I'm running this Genymotion. So this is how you need to install this Genymotion emulator. So it will be taking some time. Let's wait for that to install. Well, now it is done installing it. So I can simply open that in the same folder. A folder has been created for that application. And here you can see the relevant binaries and libraries. So I'm going to call the Genymotion binary, the application from this folder. So it will be spawning the Android emulator. So this is what the Android emulator, it is currently booting. Let's give its time. Now the installation is done, and you may see an empty. This is how the Genymotion window look like. You can simply click this plus symbol, and you can see the list of Android devices available in this Genymotion emulator. And I'm going to use Google Nexus 4 because I have already tested it. It works without any error. So I'm just clicking this and choosing next. So I need to choose the Android version here. I can choose the Android version up to 12, but the version I need is Android version 10, because that is what recommended in this readme.txt file. So let me show that once again. So you can see they are recommending the Android 10.0. So I'm going to use that version, and the rest of the stuff looks good. So I'm clicking next. So it is asking to define the processor and memory size. I'm giving 2 processor, that would be enough, and the memory is 2 gigs of RAM. Well, moving to the next one, the display size, and yeah, looks okay. I'm unchecking this one and clicking next. So it is asking the network mode, whether to choose bridge or NAT. I'm going with the bridge because I'm going to use some traffic interception. So for that, bridge will be convenient. So now I'm clicking install. So it will be taking some time to install this. So I'll pause this video here and come back once it is done. And look at this. Now the device has been created. So I'm simply clicking start here. Now it is booting the Android machine up. So let's wait for some time. Look at this. It is actually starting the virtual device. Let's wait for a minute. It will be done. And look at this, the Android is starting now. In few seconds it will spawn up. So once it is opened, we need to simply drag the Android application and drop it in this specific Android system. So now the Android system is up. We can see certain applications already installed in this. So we got this. Now all we need to do is to bring the APK file into this machine. So let's do that. Let me drag and drop this file here. Now the file transfer in progress, so it will be installed in a moment. Yeah, it is done. And look at the interface of the manager application. So this is what the application we are dealing with. And as we have seen in the description, the readme.txt, it is asking us the IP address and the port. We already know the IP address and port, and this is given here. So let me enter that IP address and port and see what happens. So I'm entering the IP address here. So let me cut this port off and pasting it here. Now I'm simply connecting tool, and when I have downloaded, I have logged into the password manager. Looks like it is an online password manager, so it is reaching that remote machine and giving this login page. Now let me give this simple login credentials like admin and see what we are getting. And here is an error, user not found. Well, this is expected. It won't be that easy to log in directly. So we need to do certain stuffs to leverage the flaw behind this application. And we are going to find what sort of flaw it is. Before that, let's confirm the internet connectivity from this system. And in order to confirm this, I'm just trying to find the browser, or let's see this. I'm closing it. And yeah, here I'm simply trying to Google something. Let's see whether I'm getting any positive result here. And yeah, internet is connected to this machine. Now let's see the options here in the network. I'm long pressing on this Wi-Fi signal, and it is giving me the connection page. The Android Wi-Fi is the network we need to modify. And here I'm going to the advanced options, and you can see the DHCP setting that is given here. And we need to set up the proxy now, because we need to, in order to find the flaw in the Android application, we have to intercept the traffic of that application, right? So in order to find that, I'm simply enabling the proxy here. So the proxy is nothing but our mesh, because when I was building this system, I kept this network interface in the bridged mode, so that what will happen, so it will be in the same network as my machine is. So for example, so here this is my network. Then my network is this one, 192.168.0.152, which means the 0.0/24. So the specific application is also running in the same network now. So that what will happen when we give the proxy IP address as our IP, whatever the traffic generated by this application, it will be passed through our machine. So if we set up an interceptor in our machine, the base machine, which is acting as a proxy, then we'll be able to see all the traffic that this application is passing through. So let's do that. So I'm simply configuring the proxy manually now, and the proxy IP address is nothing but 192.168.0.152, my machine IP, and the port is 8080. And I'm simply saving this configuration now, and I have done saving it, I guess. So let me go and check the configuration again. Yeah, it is already set, and yeah, rest of the things looks good. The IP address, it is taking from the DHCP. Well, it looks good now. So I'm loading this page again. Yeah, it is giving the error because the proxy is not reachable. We are not enabled the proxy now. So let's do that. For that, I'm going to use Burp Suite. So it will be acting as a proxy in my machine. Let's spawn the Burp Suite. The Burp is up, but we need to tweak some configurations in Burp Suite. By default, Burp will be listening on the local host 8080 port, but we need to tweak it. So I'm going to edit it and make it as it is listening on all the interfaces. So, and now I made sure it is listening on all the interfaces. Now it looks good. Now let's see the interceptor whether the interceptor is on or not. It is not on now. Just now I turned it on. Now we are okay to redirect the traffic through this Burp Suite. So I'm simply giving request again to this Google page and see what's going to happen. Nothing happens for now. So let me give the URL and look at this. We got the request now. So the proxy works properly now. So I'm forwarding this. see, I mean, still I'm not getting any response, but if I try this from the application, I'll be able to get the traffic of that application. So let me try the same. I already installed the application, and look at the application. This is the icon. The name is manager. So I'm clicking this application and opening, and here is the IP address and port. So let me give that IP and port again. So 30007 is the port. 30007. Well, yeah, now I'm simply connecting it, and let's see whether I'm getting any traffic here. For now, I'm not getting any traffic. Okay, now we got the page here. So it's a login page, login to manage your account. I have already tried to log in with admin credentials. It is not allowing me in. So let me try the same once again. I'm clicking login here, and look at this. Whenever I'm giving username and password, it is sending request to login.php. If you remember, this is the page we have seen in one of the files, the file called login activity, when we were decompiling and seeing the decompiled files from JADX-GUI app. And it is also sending the post request. So looks like it is posting the admin username and admin password. Well, looks good. Now I'm simply forwarding it, and see the response in this page. It gives the response at the bottom, user not found. Actually it disappeared, but it was giving user not found message for a moment. Well, okay, now we got another option here, the option called register. So let's register a new username and log in and see what exactly happening here. I mean, what is present inside that portal. All right, now I'm simply giving the username as Perumal and password as Jagan, and I'm simply registering. So now look at this, the register function. It is sending request to register.php, and the username is Perumal and password is Jagan. So simple. Now I am forwarding this, and look at this, the user successfully created, and the page is also changed here. And look at this, the ID is 5, username is Perumal, and the password is, I have mentioned, Jagan, and the role is member. Well, I can only edit password here. Look at this. I can only modify the password and make the change here. So let me do this. So I'm simply adding 1, 2, 3. I'm simply appending and giving the update. And look at this. The updated password is sent to the manage.php folder. Now the request is, sent to the different file, manage.php. So this is where the password modifications are done, looks like. So, well, yeah, I think I'm forwarding it. And look at this, the password updated successfully. We got the message like password updated successfully. And let me log in with that. So the username is Perumal and the password is Jagan123. And I'm logging in now, forwarding this request, and the login is done. Well, now I can clearly understand I am actually seeing that specific username and password, and also its role and the ID. I'm not able to modify this ID stuff. Well, okay, I'm clicking update here once again, and I'm just moving it to the repeater, and let's send this request in the repeater and see the response. And look at this, it gives the response password updated successfully. I'm just finding a way to modify this ID or the role as admin. Whether I'm setting the role as admin, will it work or not? So that's what I'm just trying to perform here. So for that, I'm simply clicking update once again. So let me forward this one. Okay, now password updated successfully. Let me log in. Jagan12345. I'm logging in, forwarding. The login is done. Now I'm simply clicking update once again, and here I'm simply going to append the role, and the role as admin. I'm setting role as admin, and I'm simply forwarding it now. Let's see what we are getting here. And before that, I'm simply sending it to the repeater, and I'm sending this request. It says password updated successfully, and I forward this again, password updated successfully. But now I log in this Perumal Jagan12345 with username Pirmal. I'm logging in. I should be seeing the role as admin now because I gave the request to modify the role. Let's see what I'm getting. Surprisingly, I'm still getting the role as member. I'm not yet admin. So modifying this role parameter is not working here. So it is not allowing us to modify this one. But what about changing this password? That one we can try, right? So let's try that. All right. Now I'm just clicking the update here once again. Now here I am sending request to manage.php to tweak the password of a specific user. Now I'm simply keeping the password as it is, changing the username alone to admin. So let's try to change the password of the admin user, and I'm forwarding this, and now I'm getting the status as password updated successfully. Now let me keep the username as admin and log in with the password Jagan12345. I'm logging in, and look at this. We are getting the flag here. Yeah. Now I'm clicking update and moving to the, sending it to the repeater and sending this request again, and it says password updated successfully. I'm simply changing it to login form and logging in with the same credential, and here I can see the flag. So we have found a flaw. By using that flaw, we were able to reset the password of the top user, admin. So when we logged in as an admin, after tweaking the password, we were able to find the flag that was hidden in the role parameter. So yeah, we have found the flag. So let's copy this flag and put it in the HackTheBox platform. So I'm submitting the flag here, and the difficulty is I would say still it is not too easy. So I'm submitting this, and the flag is accepted. We are done with this challenge. And yeah, this is what I wanted to showcase. Hope you had a good time learning this. We have learned how to reverse Android application by using certain decompiling applications, and we have seen how to run the Android application on the emulator from your computer itself. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. If you really did, hit the like button, consider subscribing my channel. If you have any other opinion, drop it in the comment section. I'm ready to take your feedbacks and correct it. And you can also share this video among your friends. I'll catch you next time with another exciting video and an exciting concept. Until then, I'm signing off. Cheers, and I love you all. Thank you so much.